Here's a great question from Sarah. How does an introvert self-promote? Great question. I am a massive extrovert. You know that. I host a podcast. I think introverts have to learn certain skills of extroversion, which include looking people in the eyes and introducing yourself, which include hosting a dinner party, which include hosting a meeting. What you have to understand as an introvert, I believe, and I'm not an introvert, but I hear this from introverts, is to replenish your energy after using up your battery. So if you're an introvert and you go to a party, you need to know, like, listen, after 2 hours of being at a party, I kind of don't dig it anymore, and I want to go home and play video games or read a book or binge watch something and just be by myself. If you know that, you can time it and say, you know what, I'm going to do 90 minutes at the party and be my best. My wife is like that. She wants to not be out for 10 hours when there's a party. I want to come half an hour early, and I want to be the guy who stays 2 hours late at the party because I just love talking to people. I mean, look, I've done over 600 episodes of this podcast. I love to talk. I love to have conversations. So writing is a great hack because with writing, you don't have to look somebody in the eye. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to have your batteries drained. You can just write your position, and you can share the Google Doc with 5 friends and say, hey, use the commenting feature in Google Docs or the commenting feature in Evernote and give me some feedback on what I wrote. So that's a way for an introvert to be extroverted. Some people who are introverted are just awesome, on their HipChat channel or their Slack channel. They just love being in chat. That's why I believe these things took off amongst developers. A large number of developers, I've seen the statistics, are introverted, right? And they would feel more comfortable talking in chat. So if you get people to talk in chat, then their introversion becomes less of a downside for them. It becomes more powerful. So I think you just have to know yourself. Chat is great, writing is great, but I don't think that introversion is a disease. I don't think it's a malady. It's just a style. And just like an extrovert can learn to shut up and listen, which I have had to do in my life, I've had to learn how to be a great listener. You'll see that on episodes of this podcast. If you watch the early ones when I'm interviewing people, sometimes I ask them a question, they start to answer it, I answer it. Other times, then towards the middle, the 200 to 400 episode, maybe I became 50-50. And then you'll see me in the later episodes, I'll ask a question of a founder, and people are like, I really want to know Jason's opinion on that. Why isn't Jason talking? I'm like, well, in an interview, I'm not supposed to be talking. So you'll see me say to Steve Jurvetson, food, energy, solar. And I just said one word to him and he would go flying off the handle, right? That episode is Steve Jurvetz's episode, not the Jason Calacanis episode. So extroverts can learn the introversion skills and become better human beings, better leaders, better founders, just better humans. And introverts can learn how extroverts work and really just identifying yourself. If you've never taken the Myers-Briggs, I think it's a great thing to do because nobody is just one thing. It's very rare to have somebody like Luke on my team who's 100% extroverted, or me, 84% when we took our Myers-Briggs on our offsite. We were like massively out there. That's why Luke and I laugh and go out and do partnerships for lunch all day long and enjoy lunches and can't get enough of it. You want to just understand all your teammates' styles. And if you have a teammate who's an introvert, it's really important in a meeting to just say, hey, we haven't heard from you, John, Jane, Billy, Susan. What do you think? And that's really the best meeting technique, I think, is making sure everybody who's in the meeting gets to have their 2 cents. In fact, there's some people who run meeting styles where everybody has to talk at least twice in the meeting. So if somebody didn't talk, somebody who's leading the meeting has to put a hash mark next to everybody's name. Hey, Jackie, we haven't heard from you. Can we get your opinion? Hey, Ashley, we haven't heard from you. Can we get your opinion on this? It might just be, yeah, no opinion sounds good to me, but at least they had an opportunity to be heard. So I think that's the best way to self-promote. The best self-promotion is success. If you're successful, people will find out about it. And it's good to commemorate your success. So I think taking the time when you release a 1.0 to write a blog post about it, or a Medium post. If you're hit a certain number of customers, to tweet it out is a great thing to do. To do a Quora Q&A, right? To do a LinkedIn influencer post. So celebrate the milestones is something other people don't do. So when your company hits its 1st year anniversary, make a slideshow, make a slide share, whatever. When you hit your 1,000th customer or you break 10,000 daily unique visitors, go ahead and write a blog post about that and what you've learned. Share a little bit about yourself and celebrate the victories. Because let me tell you something, entrepreneurship and startups, it's more pain than it is celebration. So when you do get those moments to celebrate, go ahead and crack the champagne, make a big deal about it, and let the world know. Hey, and be humble. When you let the world know that you've hit a certain milestone, hey, Uber's hit 10 cities. This is a great foundational moment for the company, and we're on our way to 1,000 cities. So we're going to add a zero, we're going to add another zero. So when you celebrate those moments, those milestones as an introvert or an extrovert, you can write a blog post, you can do a tweet, you can even do a podcast, you could have a party. Any of those things, when you do have that, the dinner or whatever, a brunch, you want to make sure you are humble and say, hey, this is what it means. It means we've reached this point in our mission, and restate the mission. So great question, Sarah. I really enjoyed that one. Hey, everybody. I want to take a moment to tell you about retargeting. This is a very, very important thing for startups to understand, because customer acquisition is what it's all about, and AdRoll is the best retargeting platform on the planet. Over 25,000 advertisers use it. And I want to tell you today about a new product they have. It's called Send Roll. No, it's not sending to get you rolls and buttered rolls. No, this is about email. And Send Roll lets you get all those people who are window shoppers, people who are checking out your website, and then you can convert them into buyers, which is what you want, getting them to sign up for your product or service by email. So imagine they visit your site, but then they get an email follow-up. SendRoll is powerful retargeting tech plus effective emails, and the results have been spectacular. The average SendRoll gets a 45 to 60% open rate and a 10 to 20% click-through. And I can tell you, running inside.com, that is probably 3 times, 4 times the industry average. And it's so easy to set up a SendRoll campaign. It just takes minutes. They give you all the templates, and they have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week customer service line if you need help. And what I always like to do when we have somebody who has a product that's loved on our program, we don't want to read any sponsor messages, any partner messages for things that are not loved. The great part is a lot of my founders from my portfolio use AdRoll, so it's very easy for me to talk about their new product, SendRoll. James Heller, the founder of Rapify, which went through my incubator, says AdRoll is an integral part of our customer acquisition strategy. It allows us to continue to garner impressions long after the initial customer interaction. It's also one of the most cost-effective tools to bolster any integrated marketing strategy. AdRoll is the best retargeting platform, period. That's according to James Heller, good friend of mine and one of my investments at Rapify. So here's your call to action, everybody. Try SendRoll and get a $100 credit. Just go to adroll.com/twist, 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 and get that $100 credit. And please try that SendRoll and give them some feedback and let them know that @Jason sent you. Okay, let's get back to this amazing program.